Hey everyone, it's Gary here from Echidna Sewing, and today we're going to talk to you about how you might go about sharpening some of your old scissors or scissors that just aren't cutting as well as you'd like them to. We've probably all got an assortment of scissors around the home that need a bit of a freshen up. Here's a range here that have probably all seen better days, and you'll see we've got some larger shears, and we've got some of the little sort of double curves, and the little spring action scissors, a pair of duckbills, and just a little cheap pair that I found in one of our drawers. I don't know why we have that here, but anyway, we do. So first things first, you just got to make sure that you get your scissors clean so there's no gunk sort of on the inside here. A lot of people get glue from cutting various things stuck in here, and of course the scissors won't cut properly if that's there. So best way to do that is use a product like a a power cleaner, citrus oil or something, and just give them a good wipe over, which I've kind of done already. So now we have a little gadget which is quite magical for sharpening scissors. It's it's called a multi-sharpener or a scissor sharpener tool, and it has what in essence is a tungsten block here. Now tungsten steel is much harder than the steel that they make scissors out of, and we use this little gadget to run across the back of the scissors and we'll easily sharpen them. So I'm going to show you first on a traditional pair of scissors. Again, these are actually cutting okay. They're a Fiskars, they're okay, they're a good scissor. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to sharpen the leading edge, which is this edge here. Now you never ever sharpen from the front of a pair of scissors because you'll just take the edge off and they'll never work again. Likewise on the other side, we don't want to sharpen the front. What we need to do is we need to sharpen from the back. So you'll see there's always like a beveled edge on the back of the scissors. And what we do is we take this little gadget, and by just simply forcibly sliding it down the back of the scissors like this, we're just dressing the edge. You'll notice I'm going across the scissor like that, pulling away from me and across the front or across the top of the leading edge. And you do apply a bit of force, you'll feel it. It'll kind of grab. And by doing that, we've just taken any burrs off the leading edge, and then just gently close the scissor, and you'll feel it'll be a little bit rough to close, but once you've closed it properly, I can guarantee you it will cut like a dream, and that's beautiful. So quite easy to do on bigger scissors like this, as you can see. But what about the smaller scissors? What we do is we take open the scissors up. So these are a pair of double curves. And as long as you can open the scissor up like that and you can get to the trailing edge of it, again, we're wanting to clean this edge here from the back, because we don't want to take away the leading edge just there. Now these are curved, so they're typically a lot harder to work with. So again, the same deal. All I do is just push it down on a surface so it's not going to fall away from me. And I just run this tungsten tip. And again, I'm just sliding the tungsten block forcibly across the back all the way to the edge of the scissor, pretty much on the angle that the bevel is on the back of the scissor. And you'll feel it wanting to grab, and it is actually essentially dragging some or taking away a fine layer of steel. Again, then just gently close that. And I didn't even know if these cut before, but we'll have a look. Yeah, so that's cut. That cuts quite nicely through to the tip. Although the tip can do, well, maybe with a little bit more work. So I've only done one side at this stage. So I'm going to do a few more slides across there, and I'm making sure I go all the way through to the edge of the scissor. And I'm going to do the other side now. Again, I don't want to do this inner edge. I'm sliding from the back like this. And I reckon we're probably good to go now. So we'll just gently pull that together, and oh yeah, that feels better already. Oops, that's probably the way I was holding that then. But that's cutting right through to the tip. Some scissors are not meant to cut fabric terribly well. I mean, the little tiny spring action scissors are really more a thread scissor. And you might think, how do you possibly get the scissors to cut or to trim that? All you do on these guys, hopefully the camera's picking this up, is you just turn the little spring and you can open them up like so. And the same rule applies. I'm just scraping that dragging it along the back of the scissors, the back end. I'm not doing the front surface. And I'm just dressing that whole edge. I'm going to do the same on this side. And I mean, if you can't see it, but I can see little tiny bits of iron filing or steel filing down there, so I know that I am taking some of those nasty edges away. And then we just simply push that closed. That cleans off the edge, and then we just put that back in there like that, and hopefully that's going to not cut at all. There you go, how's that? Again, these are not particularly meant to cut fabric, but they do. A lot of times with your little trimmers like this, you've just got to pick your mark. So that's cutting through there all right. They weren't cutting at all before, I don't think. But they would have cut thread. So fabric is not really what they're designed for. And this little pair here, as you can see, I can open up that clearly, easily enough to get to it. And again, we're just going to, in fact, I don't know if the camera will actually pick that up, but this edge is kind of yuck. It's got all sorts of weird marks on it. So we're going to dress that quite well. And I'm pretty sure that even though these are just a fairly cheap pair of scissors, they're probably going to cut quite well by the time I finish dressing that. We're just going to close that off. They feel all right. Yeah, they're cutting better than they were, that's for sure. This one has a bit of damage on the very end of the tip. You probably can't see that in the camera, but that's so damaged that I probably wouldn't be able to resurrect that. So sometimes you've just got to throw some scissors out. I would probably throw these out, but they're still cutting. Maybe for cutting paper or something like that would be fine. But this little gadget here, they're only $12.95. We have them on our website, and they work pretty well. They're pretty easy. As long as you don't, as I said, as long as you don't damage the leading cutting edge of your scissors. You would never do this. You would never go that way. Always got to go from the back like that. And pretty simple. And you'll be able to save lots of old pairs of scissors with this guy. So hope that helps.